Okay, and we're back, Sir Duval and Sir Amar.
Yep.
We are here bringing you episode 154, and we're making sure everything's looking good. We've got the lights on, we've got the cameras on.
Yeah.
Duval, you're
The
looking
wide angle
amazing.
lens you got.
Exactly.
My
We're
little Thor
keeping it.
t-shirt in line with the
Me,
Marvel.
just a plain, just a
Mm,
plain, just a
it's all
plain
good.
t-shirt
It's all
over
good.
here. Yeah, all good, all good. So listen, yeah, so we're doing this episode 154. We've got
Yep.
the big Marvel movie that we need to speak about, and we've been kind of obviously waiting for this movie for a long time.
Yeah.
So we're going to be reviewing Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and we're probably going to go into that. And if we've got time, hopefully we've got time, we can do the Green Knight as well because we've seen that.
Yeah.
And probably, I don't think we're going to get time for a
A
hidden gem
hidden
this
gem.
week,
Let's see how
Deval.
it goes. Let's see how it
Let's see how it
goes.
goes.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes. And before we do anything, folks, you know how we roll on the Flixters. We love shouting out the people that interact with us, the people who listen to
Mm,
the show, and you know what we just love it. So, Deval,
yep.
take it away. Let us know who we're shouting out.
Cool. First of all, before the shout out, I'm gonna let everyone know how to win this week's prize,
Oh
which
yes, yeah.
is a cinema ticket and also a Rakuten movie code. So you get two prizes for the price of none because you're not actually paying for anything. So all you got to do is write a review for us any way you like, preferably on Apple. Just message us on Instagram and let us know you've done it, and then we'll send you across that cinema code, and that's for View or Odeon here in the UK, and the Rakuten movie code. That's for a movie for you to watch in the comfort of your own home. So there you go. You can't get better than that, can you?
Do it
So
seriously. You could be watching one of these movies that we speak about. All right. So
exactly.
yeah. So thanks for that. And remember, keep it locked with the Flixters, folks.
Mm.
Remember Instagram, Facebook,
Yep.
whatever.
On
Get in touch with
Instagram,
us.
actually, on the shout out, so we've got two quick ones. So we've got Charlie Jar UK, and also we've got Yuz, so YYUS.RA, so Yuz Ra, basically.
Wow.
Two people who I had to shout out this week. So Charlie Jar UK and Yuz Ra. Charlie Jar UK does do a radio show and podcast, so go check her out. But yeah, two people that really love Money Heist. We'll talk a bit about that later on. That came out
Yeah.
on Netflix in the past few days, and they love Money Heist. They're all over
Yeah.
it. I believe they've both watched it all in one day. So I'm going to catch
Wow.
up with them and see how it was. If you've seen Money Heist, let us know what you think about it. So yeah, there's our shout outs of the week.
Brilliant. Yeah, keep it locked with that, folks. Yeah, and like Deval said, we'll get into that. But before we do that, let's do some movie news now, Deval. So this
Mm,
is this first piece of news that we want to speak about. Take this away. So walk us through this. What's going on with this, man? This is kind of like yeah, this is
yeah.
pretty big, right?
Yeah, so we spoke a little while ago about how the sort of Resident Evil franchise was going to reboot itself because
Yeah.
over since 2002, I believe, we saw the Mila Jovovich franchise, as it's now famously known, with how many movies? Was it seven movies or something like that? So
Yeah,
so
and
many.
counting.
So for those that don't know, Resident Evil is a Capcom video game from PlayStation and so on, and it's a horror sort of survival game, zombies and all
Yeah.
that. But the game done really well, so they made movies out of it, and now the last movie they made may have been like 2017, I think. So
Hmm.
that was that chapter closed, and then they said they're going to reboot the whole Resident Evil chapter, which they're doing at the moment. And the first onset images have come through, and it looks really, really sick. So
Mm.
the image that I saw was of I don't even know what to call it. I don't know if it's a zombie, a human, a bit of both, but it's some kind of person, creature with a
Yeah.
sort of regular sized body ish, and
Yep.
their head is almost like, I don't know, the head of an elephant size, but it's kind of like melted on the body. It's disgusting.
Oh shit.
So that's the image that we see, and that's actually taken right from the game. There's a scene in the game where you get a really disgusting looking monster. So yeah, so but what they're gonna do is it's called Welcome to Raccoon City, which is
Mm.
the name of the city, not to be mistaken with Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the
From
Galaxy. This is a
Guardians. Yeah.
whole different city you don't want to go to. So that's what the movie's
And
going to be called.
exactly, and it's funny that you mentioned, about that. It's taken from the game. A lot
Yeah,
of people's complaint was that the films didn't rely heavily on the games,
yeah,
and I think they're going old school. They're going back to the game to
yeah.
draw kind of like inspiration. So yeah, man, I'm all up for this. Do we know anything about a release date?
Yeah, I mean, originally it was going to come out end of this year, but most likely it's going to be next year now. So I'm not sure exactly when next year. So
Mhm.
2022, but 2022 looking like a good year already. So I mean, come on, it's
Come
going to
on,
be
man.
good.
Seriously, it's going to be huge.
So we'll let you know
Let
exactly when we get a date, and then also when the trailer comes out, we'll show you that too.
Exactly. Let's move on to something else. Let's move on to Expendables now. Deval,
Mm,
I think I have. I'm pretty 100% sure I've seen the first one, and
yeah,
maybe I've seen the third one. But basically, Expendables is this kind of vehicle for Sylvester Stallone bringing together kind of like 80s, 90s, action superstars
yeah,
to the big screen where they do the craziest of stuff. Like basically the plot lines are really thin, but
yeah.
basically if you love your action movies, if you love your kind of like your Sylvester Stallones, Arnold Schwarzeneggers, your Bruce Willis's, your Mel Gibsons, all that sort of stuff, he ropes in everyone, Jason Statham as well.
Everybody.
And they are going to add who else to the next Expendables movie,
Oh
Deval? Who else is coming on
gosh,
board?
like there isn't enough. I mean, from what we hear, Megan Fox. Yeah, you heard it.
Mm,
Megan Fox from Transformers,
yeah.
from Death. Was it Till Death Do Us Part? So it's a recent film where she's actually she's a bit badass actually in that film.
Okay.
She's actually, yeah, it surprised me. She's actually quite good in that film. She takes care of herself quite well.
Yeah.
So Megan Fox, and also 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, is
Fitty.
also meant to be introduced into the Expendables franchise. And just for a bit of a reminder, the last Expendables film, Expendables 3, so there's been one, two, three. Last one was 2014, that one came out. As
Whoa.
Miles just said, Sylvester Stallone's like the main guy. We've got
Yeah.
Jason Statham, we've got Jet Li, we had
Yep.
Harrison Ford show up in that, Antonio Banderas, and Arnold
Wow.
Schwarzenegger showed up, Mel Gibson showed up, Wesley Snipes showed up, Dolph Lundgren showed up, Randy
What?
Couture showed up, Terry Crews showed up. We had literally everybody, like the Backstreet Boys. I mean, everyone was in it. Bruce Willis, I'm not sure if he's showing up yet. Chuck
Yeah, he
Norris,
showed up in there.
I think Chuck Norris, did he show up one time? I can't remember.
Oh, Van Damme showed up in it as
Van
well.
Damme as well, and Toby, everyone shows up. So if you, I mean, I want someone like Cynthia Rothrock to show up in one of these films. She's got
Oh, that
to.
would be a
Don't forget
wicked
the ladies,
one.
man. Cynthia Rothrock, Michelle Yeoh, who we'll speak about later. All these
You
ladies
know
need to be
what?
in the next one.
Isn't it
So,
weird? Isn't it weird that they haven't done like a female Expendables?
well, there was some kind of talk about that happening. There was some kind of talk about that happening. I'm not sure where they are yet, but if we find out, we'll let you know. But that'd be interesting.
Listen,
And who would you put on the list though? On the female
well,
Expendables, who would you
Cynthia
put on?
Rothrock, Michelle
Yeah, yeah,
Yeoh.
yeah.
I mean, they definitely got to be on it.
Gina
Who?
Carano.
Gina, man,
Carano.
she would
Yeah,
whip
she's got to be
everyone's
on
ass,
there.
man.
Yeah, even
Um,
maybe I don't know if she's really an action movie star, but from what I've seen of her so far, she can kick ass. But Queen Latifah, I could see her
yeah,
on
she
that
was
team.
in. Remember, she did the Equalizer. She's the new
Of course,
Equalizer.
there you go. That's, yeah. I thought I seen her somewhere kicking ass. Yeah, so she can
Exactly.
be on there.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a few.
loads.
If we sat down and thought about it, we could get a good list up together. I reckon.
Oh, definitely, man, for sure on that one. So listen, look, keep it locked with us, and we'll let you know about the Expendables. If you're a fan of that, we can speak more about it. But listen, let's move on to other great women. Well, let's speak about Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Women. So Wonder Woman, what's going on? We know that there's going to be a
Mm.
Flash movie that's coming out. They're working on it. I think in the UK, production's going on right now. I think, according to the grapevine, Michael Keaton's stuff has already been filmed,
Okay.
and we know that he's going to be, Batman in it. He's the original Batman. But the idea here, Deval, is what Wonder Woman's going to be in this Flash movie as well. Is that right?
Yeah. So as we know, the Flash movie is gonna be multiversal. It's gonna, just like Amar said, people from the past, maybe people from the future might show up in this.
Mm,
We know that Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, who knows if George Clooney might show up, Val Kilmer, we don't know. But we do know, has been confirmed now, that Wonder Woman, yes, Gal Gadot, will show up in the Flash movie. What
yeah,
her role will involve or why she shows up, we don't know yet. But it's the Flash. Anything could happen, and anything will
exactly.
happen.
And anything will happen. We know that he's going to go back in time. He's going to go forward. And remember,
Mm,
he in Justice League, was it all Batman versus Superman? I can't remember which one it was. Remember, the future Barry Allen meets Batman, Ben Affleck, and he says, "Oh, it's all about
oh yeah,
Lois."
Batman versus Superman. That was, yeah, yeah. yeah. That was it. Yeah.
So there's all that shit that's got to take place. And speaking about Batman, Deval, you know how last week we spoke about, was it, no, it's not Comic Con. What was it again? It was another kind of one of these
Oh,
comic
CinemaCon.
CinemaCon.
Mm.
So we spoke about the Matrix, and we said, oh, there was the Batman as well. There was kind of like some footage of the Batman. But
Yeah.
tell us about this. What does this
Yeah.
test screening reveal?
I wish I was in this test screening, you know.
Oh
But
man,
then again, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'd like to finish, see it when it's finished. But yeah, either way, yeah, test screenings has happened for the Batman, and so far people have said that this film is
yeah,
different in a good way. So they're saying
wicked.
that it's really dark. They're saying that it's like almost a horror film, and it's very graphic. So I still don't know what the rating is going to be, but it looks like it's going to be like literally. I mean, the Dark Knight. Everything about Batman is dark, and
Yeah.
remember even what film? Which one was it? Was it Batman Superman? There's a beginning scene where Batman is like on the wall in the corner, and the cops like
Oh,
come across
that
him.
was that was the Dawn of Justice.
There you
Was
go.
it
Yeah,
Dawn of
it was.
Justice? No, no, oh no. I love that scene. He's
Yeah,
on there,
yeah.
and then the copper nearly shoots him,
Yes,
or he kind of
and
like,
it looks
yeah,
scary. It's like I was like
yes,
shit. And but
yeah.
Batman is supposed to be feared. He's not supposed to be just in the lights. Like he
I
doesn't turn
know.
up at daytime. This guy dwells in the night. Can you imagine? He's turned up at daytime. What's up, guys?
It's true,
You know,
man. It's like,
yeah,
hey.
he's the Dark Knight. So yeah, so this one's going to be like that. I don't think we're going to see much daytime in there, so much, much comedy. Who knows? But yeah, get ready for a bit of a darker tone with this one.
Exactly. So, and remember that there's a trailer that was released like some time ago.
Yeah,
That's already out on YouTube. Go check it out. And yeah, man, we'll wait and see how well Robert
mm,
Pattinson does. And maybe he's going to be the best Batman of all. Who knows, Deval? We
you
just
never
don't know,
know.
man.
You
He
never
can
know.
he can blow it out of the park. Right, let's have a look. All right, okay. Other DC news. I want to quickly kind of end on this one, Deval. Are we fans on the Flixters? Are we fans of Shazam? Yeah, we liked Shazam, didn't
Yeah,
we?
yeah,
We
we
thought it
liked
was
it. Yeah, yeah,
fun.
it was good. It was good. Yeah, I liked
Yeah,
it.
it's not like fantastic, but you know what?
Mm.
We had a great time. It kind of fulfills a need, introduces us to
Oh, another
a funny
guy.
character.
Another
Who?
guy who's been in a Marvel film and a DC film, Jimon Honsu, obviously in Guardians
Yes,
and then
Guardians
in
and
Shazam. So I just had to
Shazam.
because a little while ago we were talking about different people, actors who have been in
Yeah,
both DC and Marvel. So sorry, yeah, that just
yeah,
came to
and
mind.
Shazam as well as Levi, Zachary
Oh yeah, of
Levi.
course, he was in Thor,
He
and then
was in
he was
Thor.
in Shazam. Oh shit, yeah, 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 yeah. There you
Exactly,
go.
that's a big one. So
Mm.
listen, Fury of the Gods, which is the newest Shazam movie, apparently it's wrapped. So the
It's a
director
wrap.
of the movie, he kind of put something up on Instagram recently, and basically just to let everyone know it's a wrap. So they'll go in now into post production, and it's coming out next year. So we've already said about 2022
Mm.
devout about all the big movies, all the big TV shows that are coming out, and add Shazam to that as well. Now, the question is, do we get a sneak peek of Black Adam in this Shazam movie, or do we
Ooh.
get a Superman sneak peek? Who knows? What do you reckon?
That's a good question. I don't. I think there's more chance of a Black Adam thing
Yeah,
going on rather than
just to
Superman. I don't know what's going on with Superman.
yeah, we
Like,
don't know. We don't know.
yeah,
So you think, yeah? So it could be like a cameo for Black Adam, which then sets up the Black
mm,
Adam movie.
possibly, yeah, because that's also going to be coming out next year as well, isn't it? So,
Mm. Yeah, and you mentioned, I was just kind of quickly going to looking at this. It says Jimon Honsu, who's going to be who played the wizard Shazam,
mm,
is gonna be kind of like be in this movie again as well. So
mm,
maybe like a flashback or something.
yeah,
We get to see kind of him, in his younger glory days or whatever. So that's going to be great. So look forward to that one. And yeah, that's it. Your movie news for this week, folks. Keep it locked with us, and we're gonna move on to Boxset Watchlist. We kind of
okay,
spoke about this last week, and Deval, I caught up with episodes number 2 and number 3. So I've seen the first 3 episodes,
okay, yeah. I've
and
seen four actually. I've seen the latest Doctor Strange one as well.
yeah,
Is
and
that the
all right,
latest one?
okay,
Yeah, that's the latest one. Yeah.
it's the latest one, isn't it? And hang on, I've been hearing that they've introduced a new wizard in that. Is that right?
The dark, the a new wizard. Sorry, did I spoil
It,
anything
it,
for you?
no,
Oh,
I've heard of it. So there is a
okay.
new wizard in that, right?
Mm,
Or
it depends what you
Is
mean
it?
by new wizard. I mean, there's a there's more than one sorcerer in the
All
in the
right,
episode.
okay, all right. Well, listen, look, it's getting better. And like I said before, we you know we when we spoke when Deval and I spoke about this last week, we'd only seen the first episode, but like
Mm,
we've kind of moved on a bit, so you need to catch up as well.
it's really
And
good. Episode 2, I think, is for me one of the best episodes so far of that.
start with uh,
T'Challa
T'Challa as
as
Star Lord.
Star Lord. Yeah, there's one little bit
Wicked.
that I don't know if many people have noticed, but on the obviously, I mean, great to see Thanos as a good guy kind of thing, and
Yeah,
just like being still mad but good at the same time.
yeah.
Also, Jimon Honsu's
Genocide.
character, like a
Yes,
big
he's in
Star
it.
Lord fan. But there was one little thing that happened with Star Lord or T'Challa's ship. I don't know if you noticed what the ship was called. Uh,
No, I didn't
because
notice it.
you know
What?
the original Star Lord, his ship's called the Milano, isn't it?
Yeah.
And now this Star Lord, his ship's called Mandela. As it took off,
Oh,
as they were
that's a
leaving, I
great
saw it. I
one.
know, I saw the name Mandela or the Mandela, one of them. But yeah, it's Mandela. So a good little touch
Look
there to
at
show you
that.
the difference of characters and who they look up to in those time frames,
Yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
eras. So
And
yeah,
there's
good touch.
good touch. And there's a nice little tribute at the end. The one thing that I was kind of surprised about was the collector. Man,
Mm,
he gets into a fight and just see like
he's muscly
his
in it.
his muscly and everything like that. It's just so funny how we see like Benicio del
Yeah,
Toro, like in the films and everything. You see him in
muscly.
the comics, in the animations, they're
It
all
was all
muscly.
their
Yeah,
real
so it's
voices,
great.
It was all their real
Yeah.
voices except for Drax and Peter Quill. They were all
Mm,
original voices. I was
yeah,
surprised, all of them.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
They roped in Kurt Russell
yeah,
back in again for
yeah,
that one, so that's really good. So, like I said before, it's definitely
yeah. Keep
the
watching
thing
it.
to
It's good.
watch. Keep
It's
keep
good.
watching it. It's going to be good. And do we know how many episodes that is? Is it six? Is it
Oh,
only six?
and I think it was. I think it's 8 or 9.
Okay,
8 or 9. One of them. Yeah, 8 or 9. Mm,
8 or 9. All right, okay.
yeah,
Well, listen, go check that out on Boxset Watchlist and let us know what you think. On to trailers now. Let's speak about this. We've already spoken about this. Actually, kind of mentioned it earlier on in the
yeah.
year. Red Notice, this huge Netflix movie where they've pumped in like hundreds of millions of dollars. They're opening
Mm,
uh, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, Gal Gadot or Gadot,
mm.
and Ryan Reynolds. Deval, what
All
can you tell us
DC
about
characters,
this?
aren't they?
Exactly. What can you
Literally.
tell us about this trailer?
Yeah, it looks like a whole bunch of fun. I mean, Ryan
Mm,
Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds in the film. The Rock is The Rock. Gal Gadot kind of reminds me of her character in Wonder Woman, but not Wonder Woman. She reminds me of Diana Prince when she was sort of
mm,
going around the museums, like chatting to Bruce Wayne and all that. She seems like the slick one, but from what I see from the trailer so far, the story is the Rock is like he's some sort of government fed or something like that. Big guy, hotshot, and he's looking to take down Ryan Reynolds, who I think him and Ryan Reynolds sort of start working together to then take down Gal Gadot's character, who's like a big time criminal thief or
yeah,
something, but she's charming at the same time. Like she's bad, but she's not bad. So
yeah.
it seems like those two are trying to take her down, and she's
And
just
then
untakeable.
you can imagine by the end of the movie, the three of them are gonna probably join up, and
Exactly, to
then
take down
like
someone worse.
exactly. So it kind of makes sense. But listen, this isn't the first time that Ryan Reynolds and The Rock have acted together, right? This isn't.
Is it?
Remember Hobbs and Shaw?
Oh shit! Oh yeah, hold on. Hobbs and Shaw. Did Ryan Reynolds show up in that?
Remember at the end,
Of
he was kind of
course.
like the
Yes, yes, of
handler
course.
or
Sorry,
something
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah. Of
something.
course, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then they set that up for their because I was thinking, oh, they've set that up so that there's going to be kind of like a little
Yeah,
franchise between them. So
yeah,
they probably thought
yeah,
maybe we're not going to do Hobbs and Shaw. Let's jump on this kind of Red Notice thing. Yeah, so
yeah.
check that out. And Deval's already spoken about this before, and we've spoken about this on the show before. But Money
Bella
Heist
ciao,
season
bella
5,
ciao, bella
Ciao
ciao,
Bella,
ciao, ciao.
and this is
Yeah.
part 5.
This is the last part. This is it.
This is it.
Which,
This
yeah, which
is
it's bittersweet because it's bitter because we don't want it to end, but it's sweet
yeah,
because they're going on a high. They're going on their own terms. There's only how many heists can you do? I mean, realistically.
exactly
So it's
realistically,
good to do this, end it, and then maybe that production crew will make something else. But yeah, this is it.
yeah,
Money Heist. It's literally released on the 3rd of September,
which
same day
was
as Shang-Chi here in the
yesterday.
UK. And literally, this is going to be a great show. I
Mm,
advise if you haven't seen this show so far, binge
catch up
watch
on
it.
it.
Yeah, you've got so much fun waiting for you. It's a bit cheesy, but it's good cheese. It's that
Yeah.
quality cheese, that the one you have on a cheese board cheese. Like it's proper. Get your wine out, all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
And you
man.
think even if you want to watch it in the original Spanish language with English subtitles. Try
Yeah,
it with the English voiceovers because that even gives it a
it's
bit
funny.
more
It's really good.
funniness. It's really
Yeah.
good. So Money
and
Heist,
and the thing
I
is,
can't
there's
wait for
so
this.
many, yeah, there's so many different characters in there, and like there's
Yeah,
so many different kind of like, plot threads, like going back and forth and whatnot. And
yeah,
the main character, this guy called the Professor,
yeah.
how he's planned everything for every
Oh mate,
eventuality.
can you
It's like
imagine if the
he's basically
professor
a genius.
and Jigsaw had a baby? Like they will plan shit better than like Kevin Feige. Like they will plan shit in advance. You know,
In advance,
you
man. Like
know,
phased, forget
crazy.
phases, man. They're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh. But listen,
Yeah.
so go check it out. Yeah, that's Money Heist. It's on Netflix, and you can catch that seasons 1 to 5 or parts 1 to 5, whatever it is. And let's move on to Anniversary Corner. So,
Mm.
in honor of the latest Marvel movie, the 25th Marvel movie, actually 25th MCU movie, we're going to have a throwback to 10 years ago, 2011,
Yep.
to a
Ten
um,
years.
10 years, man. And I remember this vividly, watching this in the cinema. This is Thor. And you know what, man? It was a great. I had a really, really good time watching this movie.
Yeah.
Really, really good time watching this movie. I was kind of like, oh, who's this guy? Who's like?
Mm.
Had you heard of Chris Hemsworth before Thor?
No, I know he was in Home and Away or something, but I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't see
yeah,
him.
big
But
in
yeah,
Australia, basically.
yeah.
And he was in like Cabin. I can't remember if
Simultaneous
Cabin.
drinks.
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember if Cabin in the Woods came after this or before
After
this. I don't know. It was
2012,
after
Cabin in the
this.
Woods. Year after, yeah.
So he kind of like had like a bit of a part in that. And Star Trek as well was.
Mm.
Oh, Star
Oh, Star
Trek!
Trek was
Remember
before, wasn't it? That was 2009.
9?
So he was, yeah. Yeah, that was him.
But that again, that was still kind of like a bit of a minor role. But listen,
Yeah.
seriously, Thor has put him on the map, and this is kind of like the introduction. Yeah, man. What can we say about Thor that hasn't already been said, Deval? I mean,
I
come
think
on.
this was the early years of Marvel. Obviously, Marvel from 2006, they sort of set out a plan to do what we've seen in the Infinity Saga. 2011, by then we'd had Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, we'd had Iron Man 2,
Man, two.
and I think Thor may have been the one after that. I think because
Yeah,
Thor and Captain America came out within like 2 3 months. I think about 3 months time.
yeah,
So it's really sort of released in a similar sort of time frame. But again, this was setting up the MCU, setting up the character, understanding Thor, where he's from, why he's from, and a bit about his powers and responsibilities. Because with him, it was also a thing of great power comes great responsibility, and he had to learn how
yeah,
to burden that responsibility and use it wisely rather than rash with,
yeah,
fighting the ice giants all the time and stuff like that. So we got to see him sort of mature. Also, we saw him with the blonde eyebrows, which I'm glad they stopped because they
yeah.
just blonded him. They
Big
went
time,
blonde
man.
everywhere.
I know.
So
There's
it
a
was
bit
good.
in the movie. There's a bit in the movie where he's in. I think they're in New Mexico or something, and he's having
Mm,
coffee with
mm.
Marcy and all the other lot, and he loves the coffee so much, right? He drinks it and he smashes the cup,
Another.
that right,
Yeah,
and another, and then she goes, "What the hell are you doing?" And he goes, "Listen,
yeah,
I mean you just no disrespect." Like he
yeah,
goes, "I love it," and I
yeah,
was just clearly just telling you how much I love it. I just
yeah.
love that bit.
And I think the
Pure
early
Viking.
Thor, spoke more Shakespearean. Now I think because obviously he's been to Earth, but a lot more. His English is kind
Yeah,
of you know
exactly.
mellowed out a bit.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
early days it was very Shakespearean.
It was, and I think that was like Kenneth Branagh, like that was
Yes,
him
there
because
you
he's the
go.
one who
Yeah,
directed it,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
he kind of brings that
That's a good point. Yeah,
Shakespearean kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
thespian, like kind of.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So listen, if you haven't seen Thor, oh my
Go
gosh, I
see
don't know
it,
what you're
man. It's on
doing,
Disney
man. You need
Plus
to
right now. Mm.
go stream it, go watch it before obviously you see any all the other movies. But yeah, that's kind of like a nice little entry into Shang-Chi. So
Shang-Chi. No, it's Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Because
That's
he
what I
said it.
said.
He said it in the
That,
film, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
because there's certain rhythm. You got to say it in a certain
there
rhythm.
is. I
You got to
know.
hit it,
And she's like, "What did
hit it
I
right.
say?"
Exactly. You got to hit it right. Otherwise, it just means something else. It could mean like your
Ex-
mama. If you say it
yeah,
in the wrong rhythm,
exactly.
it could be an insult.
It could be an insult. He's like, "No, Shang-Chi." Like, I mean,
Exactly.
listen, we can debate all that. But listen, look, Shang-Chi is finally out, and we went out and we watched it. And
This is a
the
spoiler review, by the way. We're gonna go from top to bottom. and we're
Let's
going to
go
talk
through
about
this, man.
post credits afterwards. So
Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
we'll go.
exactly.
We'll
All right,
get there. We'll get
we're
there.
gonna get there. So if you have not seen it, just switch off right now, watch the movie, come back, and then you can kind of join in with us and um,
Yeah.
enjoying the fun. But listen, look, so look, Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings, and there's really something funny that I want to kind of mention first off, Devout.
Mm,
This character, the Shang-Chi,
mm,
from the reading that I've been doing, they kind of Marvel wanted to capitalize on the whole kind of 70s martial arts craze that was going on in America. So you
yeah.
had kind of like Bruce Lee was huge in the 70s, obviously, just
Yeah.
made kind of Enter the Dragon, and riding off of that wave, they were like, oh, what can we do? How can we capitalize on
Yeah.
this kind of craze with the martial arts, with the kung fu and everything? So they came up with this character called Shang-Chi, and crazily, well, not crazily when you think about the time, they had his dad as Fu Manchu.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go back, I mean, I haven't read, I've read like snippets of the old comic books, but they were
Mm.
really kind of derivative. They were kind of like, they didn't put kind of like that culture, Asian culture, Chinese
Yeah. Yeah.
culture
Yeah.
in the best light, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. So what Marvel had to do now in 2021, or whenever they made the movie, they had to change everything around, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely be
So
more sensitive to to people's backgrounds, and way back in the day, lots of different people
yeah,
were, for lack of a better word, like taken a little piss out of, but
yeah,
just like stereotypical kind of connotations and stuff. So
yeah.
now we live in very much more woke times, and those things just aren't going to stand
They're not
anymore.
going to pass. They're not going to pass because there would be
Yeah.
so much backlash. So Kevin Feige, he's been on record, and kind of the makers of the movie, they've said, look, they had to kind of rework the origin story of that, and
Mm,
and weave, do it justice in a way, and kind of tell a new story. So here we are. After Endgame. So the movie takes place after the events of Endgame, but we don't know specifically when exactly. But we
mm.
know that it's kind of sometime after Endgame.
I heard it was kind of. I actually heard it was before Far From Home. That's what I heard. I don't know how much before
Okay.
Far From Home, but that's what I heard. But it is a very, very, yeah. It's, I mean, end of the day, it's after Endgame. So
Yeah.
pretty much doesn't matter when, but yeah, around Far From Home sort of time is what I heard.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
mm,
And one thing that I'm beginning to like a lot more with the Marvel, with the MCU, they don't spend a lot of time, Deval, on exposition. They don't spend a lot of time on preamble. They're like the
mm,
first 10 minutes of
mm,
Shang-Chi,
mm,
you basically know the setup. You know
mm,
that there was this character called Wenwu. He found the 10 rings, and he started to kind of like wield the power of the 10 rings. And
mm,
from then on, he starts amassing this army. The army is called 10 rings as well, the army of the 10
mm.
rings, or whatever it is. And he's been around for 1,000 years,
Yeah, he's been around for ages, man. Ages.
infiltrating politics and kind of like, you know toppling governments. And he's
Mm.
been behind so many things. And did you know this, there's a link to Iron Man?
Yeah, because the Ten Rings from Iron Man 1. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It
that
was
yeah
him
that was
behind
that as well.
the whole behind Iron Man 1. It's his influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's not the first time that we've seen kind of the 10 rings in Marvel, but just so you know where we are. So listen, so there's this guy called Wenwu, played by Hong Kong icon Tony Leung, who's really, really great in this.
Mm.
He finds the 10 rings, he uses the 10 rings, and he basically is he immortal? Is he kind of like, he's immortal, right? Or
Yes.
what?
Yeah, the rings give him immortality. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So we kind of have this whole introduction to that, and then it cuts to the present day, and we are introduced to Sean. Who's Sean?
Yeah, who's Sean? Not Sean Puffy Combs.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but yeah, man, what do
Sh-
you reckon? You take it away.
Shang-Chi. Yeah, so yeah, when it cuts to present day, we see Sean, who's obviously Shang-Chi, with Aquafina. They're like buddies. They seem like nice people, but it seems like they haven't really reached potential, or their potential, and they're kind of like, I wouldn't say deadbeats, but they're just chilling. They're not really doing much with their life.
Yeah,
Aquafina's character lives with her family. Shang-Chi lives by himself. I think they studied together and stuff, so they've got a good, a long history together. But they're cool. They work as valet parkers in San Francisco, and they love it. They're cool. They're happy. They're actually happy. Uh, but it soon transpires on the bus ride that reminded me a little bit of Speed.
Yeah,
Shang-Chi is, or Sean is actually Shang-Chi, and he can fight. And we learned that he's been trained from when he was basically nappies or diapers, and he's been fighting. That's why he's such a good fighter. It's not a thing that he didn't know who he was. Like when I saw the trailer, I thought maybe, oh, he doesn't know who he was. No, he knows who he is, and we see that. It's the people
yeah,
around him that don't know who he is, but then they realize and they find out. It's a bit of a surprise, but they take it well. But
yeah,
I do like the dynamic between Shang-Chi and Aquafina. And she's quite funny, but he's also got his funny moments too in a kind of dry, you
yeah,
know, comedy kind of way. So I do like the way they are, and you're never sure if they're actually boyfriend and girlfriend or just friends. Like you could kind of
yeah,
see they could be boyfriend and girlfriend, but they're cool where they are.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that also works well as well. But yeah, I mean I always say the karate. It's not karate, is it? What is it? Martial arts, isn't
yeah.
it?
The kung fu,
The
like yeah,
kung fu,
whatever,
yeah,
man.
the
Yeah,
fighting basically is good. The fighting is good,
yes,
and what
yeah.
I learned as well is that I think they used a fight choreographer that was one that used to work with Jackie Chan. So you actually see some of
Oh,
the similarities, especially on
yes,
the coach. There's a scene on the skyscraper where
yep,
Jackie Chan's his fighting style is very, it's not very I wouldn't say the word powerful. I don't mean any disrespect to him, but
yeah,
he uses his environment, and he's very
yes,
multiple hit. He's not a one hit takedown kind of guy. So
yeah,
lots of people he fights, they get up again and come back. But he uses
yeah,
his surroundings very well. And that's what
absolutely,
Shang-Chi did in this. He uses everything around him as a weapon and uses
yeah.
it well. So I liked it. It's good, really good.
Yeah, it's good. And you know what? It's so funny because I was writing a review of this as well, and I touched upon exactly the same thing that you
Mm,
said. It kind of reminded me of those kung fu films from kind of like when we were kids and stuff. So
yeah.
that was all great. And you know what? Like you said, the fighting is really really good, and that first half was kind of like. A really good kind of like introduction to who Shang-Chi is, who the dad
Mm,
is, flashbacks and everything like that. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. And where it falls down slightly for me, all right,
okay.
and it's a totally recommended movie, by the way. Where it falls down slightly for me is this: in the final third of the movie,
Mm,
it kind of reminded me of other Disney movies. And I'm not sure if you found this or if this was it happened to you, but maybe about a month ago, I watched a movie called Raya and the Last
Last
Dragon.
Dragon. Okay. I've not seen it, but I know what you mean. I know
Right,
what you
and
mean.
that movie, it's a Disney animation. It's on Disney Plus, and it stars Aquafina as well. Right,
Oh, she's in it. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
she's in that as well. And then I saw this other movie on Netflix called Wish Dragon. So in the
Is
back of my
Aquafina in that
head,
one too?
she's not in that one, but it is about dragons. It is about dragons, right?
Okay.
So so my whole thing was I just felt like as if they played it too safe with the
Mm,
ending of the movie. All right.
okay.
And the reason why I say that is because they use magical creatures. They use like winged beasts. And I
Mm,
just thought to myself, there's so many characters that um Shang-Chi fights from the comic books.
mm,
They could have reused that, but they went with kind of the familiar. So now
okay.
it's not like something that will make you think, oh shit, I'm not going to watch the movie because of that. I just felt like as if we've had kind of these massive huge ending battle scenes in prior Marvel movies. I'm like, I wanted an ending where I go, yeah man, I'm really on board with this, I can get it. But in the end we got dragons and we got winged beasts. All right,
Yeah.
now people love that. And don't get me wrong, it is spectacular, it's bold, it's colorful, and there's some really really great fight scenes in it. I was just like, yeah, that's great, but I know, give me the shit that I want, Marvel. Give me the thing that I know that Shang-Chi can do. So in that regards, it's still a great movie. It's a
Yeah.
movie that you can love, and it's an introduction to a new character that we haven't basically seen before. Deval.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what it is. Just like how Black Panther was, I guess with Black Panther, we kind of got introduced to him in Civil War. So
Mm,
we kind of learned a bit about him. But this one's a total new introduction, just like Thor. Just like obviously Iron Man, when Iron Man first came out, Cap, the first Avenger. it's a person that's going to be a real big part of the Avengers going forward.
Yeah.
I do agree with you on some of the aspects of the sort of last third. It was very CGI heavy.
Yeah.
The dragons took center stage and all that kind of stuff. I did like the fight scenes that are more hand to hand, more sort of
Yeah.
ground level, a bit more. But obviously, Marvel movies they need that big signature ending. So I guess that's why they put it in. But one thing I
Yeah.
did like about it was Michelle Yeoh. I like
Oh,
Michelle,
yeah, man.
if I'm saying her surname right, but from Crouching Tiger
She's
days,
great,
that
man.
lady's just always done it for me. I don't know how old she is now, but she still moves like she's been 21.
I know.
She can fight, she can act. She seems so convincing in these sorts of roles. I know she does all other kinds of films as well. She was in Star Trek Discovery, but
Just
yeah,
recently, yeah.
she is just gangster. She's the
I know.
right person to cast in a role like that. Uh, and then the sister as well. So
Yeah.
Shang-Chi's sister, Shailing, I think her name is.
Yep.
She was good, but I think they could have used her a bit more. But I guess the film's called Shang-Chi. It's not called Shailing, is it?
Exactly.
So,
No, no,
but no, I think
totally.
she's in the second film. She's going to have a lot more. I mean, she beat him when they had a first fight, but I think he wasn't trying too hard. But
Yeah.
she
Because
seems like
he said, didn't he? Goes, look, I'm not going to fight you. I don't want to fight you.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, she kind of reminds me of Ant-Man, and then you had Hope Van Dyne. It's
Oh,
like that kind of
yeah.
dynamic, even the same
Yeah.
hairstyle. So
I know. I
you
know.
know, but no, they were
Uh,
cool. But also, I mean, there were a couple of other characters in the film. One character that to me was a really good addition. That as soon as I heard a sound, there's a
yeah.
moment in the film where they're trying to get to this sacred place, and you can only get there through a certain time of the year, through the
Yeah.
forest, and it's all magical and all kinds of shit. And they
Yeah.
were locked somewhere, and we heard a sound, and I just knew who it was straight away. I was like, "Yep,
Who is it going to
that
be? Yeah,
is that's
exactly.
Ben Kingsley." And Ben
Yeah.
Kingsley's character, what's his name again? Trevor Slattery
Trevor.
or something.
Trevor
Yeah,
Slattery
Trevor.
from
He,
Liverpool.
yeah, exactly. From Iron Man 3, he was a fake Mandarin. He
Yeah.
shows up in this film. It's a wicked surprise. From when he shows up, he's comedy all the way. Aquafina can just
All the
chill.
way.
He's actually really good. This is a Oscar winning actor here who was Gandhi and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff. He is
Exactly.
funny in this film.
There were so many lines that I was laughing out loud in the cinema.
Yeah,
I'm not even joking. I was just
yeah,
like, he brought the house down. I'm like,
yeah.
this guy is like brilliant. And you know what it does? It kind of, because they messed up with Iron Man 3, right? They messed up with Iron
Mm,
Man 3
mm,
with the whole Mandarin.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
they had to kind of, I think
The
this
one
is
shot.
their
Remember the
way
one
of
shot? The one shot they tried to redeem it a little bit in the one shot, the
a little
Marvel
bit in a
one
way
shot
as
to
well. He comes
explain.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So he's kind of, and the whole, and for people who kind of maybe unsure when you see the movie and you hear this, the real Mandarin, so Shang-Chi's dad, he basically kidnaps Trevor Slattery
mm,
for impersonating him, and he keeps him kind of underground, and then he kind of keeps him there in the dungeons,
yeah,
basically,
as
just
their
for a laugh.
jester to do performances because he's an actor. So every week he gives acting performances to all of the man not the Mandarin. What's his name? What's his
The
actual Wei Ling?
Ten
Is that his
Rings.
name? The Ten Rings.
Oh no, when Wu or the Mandarin, yeah,
Yeah, the Mandarin. So yeah, so for all his henchmen and henchwomen,
yeah.
he does performances for them. So yeah, it's funny, funny.
It's
But yeah,
funny.
but you know
It's
what?
really
Good
really
film,
funny, that
good film.
one.
I've got to see it
Yeah.
another couple of times. I've got to see it another couple of times just to absorb it. But the film you will enjoy, and
Yeah,
then
definitely.
we come to the post credits, mate. See, the thing about a
Oh,
Marvel film for me, yeah, I rate a Marvel film on not just the movie but the post credits. If the post credits
on
come
what it's gonna
correct,
bring.
then I'm even more happy when I leave. And
I
this one
know.
did not. This is one of the best post credit scenes in a while. In
All
a
right,
while.
so let me before we get onto it, let me what is the whole kind of thing with the rings? Like, what is it?
Yeah,
Because they
I
don't
don't know.
explain it in the movie, right? They don't. All they explain is that the Wenwu or the Mandarin, he's got them, he finds them, but we don't know where they came from, right?
Don't know where they came from. I'm actually not sure what powers they have. They give him like obviously immortality,
Because he's
strength.
been around for
He
a thousand
uses them as a
years.
whip. He can sort of punch and they fly off and hit people. But I actually thought the rings will be like from the comics because in the comics,
They're they're
each
finger
ring has
rings.
not even yeah that, but also each ring has its own power. One
Yeah,
can manipulate matter. One can do something with water. One
yeah,
can do electricity. I thought there might be a bit more like that, but these ones seem a bit more universal, as in like just sort of I don't know kinetic energy or just pushing people and
yeah.
I don't know, a bit funny, but yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. So basically, so at the end of the movie, it's kind of like, oh, but sorry. Before we get to the post credit scene,
Mm.
let's speak about Wong. Wong
Oh yeah,
turns up. So
Wong, 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 Wong.
Doctor Strange, and this is so weird. I don't get it right. So there's a whole sequence in Macau, China, where
Mm.
Shang-Chi and Aquafina, they got to travel to Macau. They see his sister, and they're in some sort of kind of like underground, like blood sport type of a thing where there's
Yeah.
illegal fighting going on, and one of the fights is between Wong and Abomination. It's
Hmm.
like, where the hell did this come from? And we kind of saw this in the trailer, so this isn't really actually giving anything away because we see actually Abomination in the
Yeah.
trailer. And but the giveaway is this: that Wong and Abomination, they know each other.
Yeah.
They're friendly with each other basically,
He even calls him by his name in the
which
in the
was,
movie.
yeah.
He's I can't remember what his real name is now.
Oh man, I've forgotten.
It's gonna bug me, but yeah, he calls him by his actual name, and we see the face. The face looks a bit weird, but uh, yeah. So they're buddies, and
So,
even
so they're buddies, right? So what are they teasing? Abomination. He's been controlled now, or he's calmed down, or they're able to use him in some sort of way. Is that
that's
kind of
true.
what they want to
Actually, that's a
show?
good question. Yeah, because Abomination before was just hell bent on destruction. It seems like now he's
Berserk.
calmed down a bit. Well, it has been what 13 years, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So I
So
guess he would have calmed
maybe
down.
exactly. So maybe Marvel, the MCU, are going to be kind of setting this up for something else. So Wong's definitely in this,
Mm,
and then that's kind of in that Macau beat the scene, and then he turns up at the end where Shang-Chi and Katie, they're in some bar and they're kind of recounting a story, and then all of a sudden Wong's like, "Hey, come with me. We need you to come over here,"
yeah,
and
yeah.
then it's that post-credit scene, and Deval, man, talk about this scene, man.
So the post-credit scene is first of all, I mean, Wong just opens up a portal from nowhere. They're in a restaurant, a portal opens up, and Shang-Chi, Aquafina go in there. Keep calling it Aquafina. I can't remember her name in it.
Katie.
Katie, but yeah, everyone knows Aquafina. So yeah,
Yeah.
they go into the portal with Wong, and they come into a room. Who's in that room? We've got Captain Marvel. We've got Brie Larson in there. We've got Banner as Banner, not as the Hulk,
Yep.
with his arm in a bandage still, or in a sling.
Yep.
And then you got Wong, and they're all talking about the energy coming from the Ten Rings, and they're saying that this energy is massive. They're saying that when Shang-Chi used the Ten Rings to defeat the monsters, the dragon, that the energy was off the Richter scale, and people in Doctor Strange's, what's it called again, his
The Sanctum.
place, not the Sanctum, the original place that he went to,
Oh, Camotage.
Camotage. That's it. When people in Camotage, they registered the energy. Captain Marvel, wherever she is,
Wherever
because
she
this
was.
meeting
Yeah.
is like through, like, they got the space Zoom kind of meeting things. So wherever she is, she registered the power. Banner registered the power. So it
Wherever
looks
he
like their
is.
power is off the charts. But not just that, they're saying that the Ten Rings are emitting some sort of I don't know,
Signal.
signal. Yeah, some sort of beacon. So the beacon is being beamed out to someone. Whoever put it there now knows that it's been woken up. So who put the Ten Rings on Earth? Who is the beacon going to contact with?
That's
Oh,
mad.
mate,
That's
I
crazy. And then, oh man, it was brilliant. And then Carol Danvers, so Captain Marvel, she's like, she gets buzzed and she goes, "Oh, I've
yeah
got to go." And the thing is, people are asking this question. So Bruce Banner, Professor Hulk, he's no longer Professor Hulk.
yeah
So he's
yeah
gone back to his human form.
yeah.
So is he now? People are saying, well, because She Hulk, he's going to be in She Hulk. They're saying that
Yeah,
Mark Ruffalo is going to be in She Hulk, and maybe that kind of he needed to be in his human form to be in that one.
mm,
We don't know, but it
it's
also
cheaper as
means
well.
cheaper as well. It also means that he's able now to control that, right? So he can, if he
mm,
wants to go Professor Hulk or if he wants to
mm,
go Mad Crazy Hulk.
yeah.
And there's one rumor is that when we see Hulk, he has to go like Crazy Hulk, like Mad Hulk level, and he couldn't do that because Professor Hulk would have been he would have been controlling it.
Is that a fact? Okay, that's
So there's
interesting.
This is interesting. So maybe somewhere along the line, he has to Hulk out and maybe go even more berserk, but he couldn't do that as because Professor Hulk won't let him go that mad, like
Yeah,
that
because
kind of a thing.
yeah, yeah, that's true. That makes sense
Yeah.
actually. That makes
So
sense.
there's kind of that, but yeah. So we've got this beacon. So we've got this kind of thing. Now, here's a rumor, Deval, that I heard that the Eternals could have put it there.
That's what I thought as well. I thought maybe is it the Eternals? Then I thought, okay, maybe is it something to do with Kang? Because we know
Kang,
Kang's been all over the, he's been around for thousands of years, and obviously
maybe
he
he put it
controls
there.
time. He put it there. Could it be linked to someone like Apocalypse, for example? Could
Oh,
it be linked to what's his name, Galactus? I mean, like
mad.
Galactus likes to feed on planets, so maybe the beacon as to when I don't know life is flourishing enough. Maybe he'll come and devour the planet.
Yeah.
Who knows what it could be? But I mean, Eternals is next in just a couple of months in November,
So hopefully there's going to be some sort of connection there.
or
And
maybe it
then
might just be for something down way down in the future. Maybe we won't find out now. Maybe it's going to be a later one kind of thing. Who knows?
exactly. So there's that. So then, obviously, this being a Marvel movie, you've got to stay until the end of the credits. And there's
Yeah.
one more final bit. And Deval, you mentioned about Shang-Chi's sister. So, towards the end of the movie, they kind of reconcile their differences.
Mm,
And she's like, okay, I'm going to go back to China and I'm going to, dismantle, the Mandarin's kind of operations. But she takes over basically.
mm. She takes over and she gives it a bit of a update, so it's quite
Yes.
ancient. She puts satellites on there. They've got solar power. Ladies are now able to train just like the
Train.
men. So she's modernizing it, updating it for the modern, era, which I think is cool. She sits down on a chair. She's like, okay, we've got
She's
a lot of
like,
work to do. Let's get to it.
let's get to
So
it. And what do you
yeah,
reckon? Do you reckon this then sets up kind of like this kind of tension between brother and sister for the
I
second
don't
part?
think so. I think she's still going to be good, but I think they're probably whatever work she needs to do. I don't think it's going to be like totally illegal. It might be
Yeah,
because she did run the underground fighting thing, so she might be on the cusp. But I don't think she's going to go around conquering worlds and stuff like that. She hasn't
yeah,
got that
yeah,
capability. But yeah,
yeah,
I just think she's going to be a bit rogue.
yeah. And when you think about it, she's now in control of this Ten Rings army, and
Yeah.
they've been around for thousands of years. So she's super powerful.
Yeah. She's got a good network there. She's got the Romanian guy with the one arm who was
Oh
actually in
my
Creed.
god,
He was in Creed, wasn't he? The boxer.
was he?
That's the
Oh,
guy
the
from Creed,
son.
the Dolph Lundgren son. Yeah. So
Damn.
he's a good guy. But yeah, so man, Shang-Chi, it's good. It's got an 8.1 on IMDb, which is
Yes,
really
it's one
high.
of the. It's really, really highly rated
Really
on that
high.
one, and
It's going to do
yeah,
great in
man.
China, man. Can you imagine the money they're going to get from China? Because
Well, this was
wow,
my thing.
they're
Also,
going to get
this was
money.
an I think another thing as well. The reason why they went with like so many kind of like probably the reason why they went with the ending that they did was as well and kind of connections to China is because they
Mm.
want it to sell really
Oh
well
yeah,
in
yeah,
China.
yeah.
So, they're thinking about kind of like the money. Oh, an interesting fact: this is a cinema only release for the next 45 days at least. This isn't. We don't know if it's going to come on the Premiere Plus just yet, but at the moment, it's just in cinemas.
Okay, I can live with that. I'm gonna go cinema again anyway to see it. So I'm
Yeah.
cool with that.
Yeah, so it's
Cool with
definitely
that.
recommended for us. Definitely go out and watch it, and you'll be able to find it everywhere, like
Mm,
in cinemas right now.
yeah, cool. Now go see it. Let us know what you think. Let us
Yeah,
know what you think. This is gonna be rumbling on for quite a while.
yeah,
That was a good.
defo.
That was a good review. I think we might have to. Yeah, that was might have to do the Green Knight next week, perhaps.
We'll
I
have to
mean,
do Green Knight next week
we
now.
ain't done a good
Uh,
long review in a while, actually. This one had
man,
to be spoken about, man. This was supposed to be out last year. We had to do Shang-Chi justice because it's a
exactly.
good film, and you had to know all the bits and bobs. So we hope you enjoyed
Yeah,
this review for it. Honestly, go
exactly.
and see
So
it.
listen, stick with us next week. We've got obviously the Green Knight. We've got to speak about that, and there's a hidden gem that we couple of hidden gems hopefully that we can get through. Man, we've been.
Yeah, no, the hidden
There's, I've
gems
got a
are.
horror movie. I've got a horror movie that I want to speak about. You've got a movie that you want to
Oh,
speak about in
hidden gem,
Hidden
yeah,
Gems.
yeah.
Yeah,
We
man,
we
it's
got
like
to
it's
give it.
really
We
good.
got next week. We got to give it up. We got to give it
We
up.
got to do something.
Yeah,
All right, listen, look, it's been great talking to you, Deval. We'll do this again next week. And remember,
cool.
folks, keep in touch with us on the gram, on Facebook,
Yeah,
and whatever. And if you see a
we're live.
Shang-Chi, let us know.
Yeah.
And that's it from me.
Cool. All right. Peace out.
Okay, and we're back.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters podcast.